And we are back for week 2 of the WalterPicks weekly picks. Last week we went 2 of 3 of our player props and 1 of 2 in our game picks. And let's dive right back into it. Again, every week we drop 3 free player props and 2 free game picks. Make sure to subscribe down below. Get these every single week. Our first player prop is Brock Bowers over 3.5 receptions. Now, why is this line so low when last week Brock had 6 receptions? And in my opinion, the game script is going to favor Brock Bowers. You might ask why. Well, they play the Baltimore Ravens, who are probably going to destroy this Raiders team. Therefore, Minshew is going to be forced to pass the ball, and who's his security blanket? The rookie Brock Bowers. Now, looking at the WalterPicks app, the projection is Brock is going to get 5 receptions, a whole 1.5 over his line. And not only that, an 18% edge Walter is giving us is absolutely absurd. They're basically saying the odds should be minus 270 instead of minus 120. Absolutely smash the over. My next prop is Javonte Williams under 61.5 rushing and receiving yards. Now here's why I'm taking the starting running back for the Denver Broncos under rushing and receiving yards. Well, A, he only had 23 yards last week against the Seattle Seahawks. 23 yards is absolutely absurd for a starter, and I believe Jaleel McLaughlin is going to get most, and if not all, of the receiving work for this Broncos team. Now let's see who the Broncos are playing. The Pittsburgh Steelers. And last week, they limited Bijan Robinson to only 68 rushing yards. And I don't know if you're new to this whole NFL thing. You're probably not because you're watching this video. But Bijan Robinson compared to Javonte Williams is literally night and day. Again, let's go back to the game script. The game script is basically telling you that Javonte Williams is unplayable on third down situations because Jaleel McLaughlin is a much better pass catching back. And in my opinion, he's just a better running back overall. So I'm going to be taking the under in this game as I think the Steelers are going to beat the Denver Broncos and beat them bad. If you're wondering where I get all these statistics from, it's from the WalterPicks app that's free to download in the App Store today. Use code CAM when you sign up. Lastly, boys, we have the pick of the week. My favorite player prop, my favorite pick on this whole slate. This would be my boy Tank Dell and his over 57.5 rushing and receiving yards. Now you're probably thinking, whoa, Stephon Diggs had 2 touchdowns last week. Nico Collins had over 100 yards. Tank Dell didn't have that good of a game. You're right. Tank Dell did not have that good of a game, and he still smashed this projection. But not only did he hit this in the last game, he's hit this in the last 5 games he's played. And if you really think about it, this could happen at any point in the game. He could have 1 catch for over 57.5 receiving yards. And the craziest part is Walter is projecting him to get 76.5 rushing and receiving yards, almost 20 more yards than his line. Again, Walter is giving us a 12.5% edge/advantage. I'm taking the over, my favorite play on this slate. All right, I had to put the hat backwards. It's business time. Game picks are my favorite. Let's get right into it. I have 2 completely different game picks, and you'll see why. But my first one is the 49ers -5 against the Minnesota Vikings. Last week, the 49ers absolutely manhandled the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets on Monday Night Football, and I believe that Jets team is 10 times better than this Vikings team. And I understand there's no Christian McCaffrey. I understand they're on the road, and I understand that it does not matter. This 49ers defense is elite. And not only do the 49ers score way more points per game than the Minnesota Vikings, Walter is giving them a 64% chance to cover this spread. Also, do not be worried about Christian McCaffrey. Jordan Mason ran for 140 plus yards against one of the best defenses in the NFL, or some would say, the New York Jets. The 49ers have a better passing yards per game, rushing yards per game, third down conversion rate, and red zone rate. Overall, they're a much better football team than the Minnesota Vikings. Give me the Niners -5 on the road. Lastly, the sharpest play of the day. You're looking down the slate. It's not a sexy game at all, but give me the New England Patriots +3.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. And if you want to be a little dangerous, sprinkle the money line. I know what you're thinking. How can I put my money on this New England Patriots offense? Well, newsflash, you're not. You're basically putting it on the defense. Last week, they held the Cincinnati Bengals and won in Cincinnati. This week, they host the Seattle Seahawks at home in Gillette Stadium. Walter is projecting the Patriots-Seahawks score to be 20-18, favoring the Seahawks, but it does cover that 3.5 point spread. And in my opinion, this Gerard Mayo-led defense can hold the Seattle Seahawks to only 2 touchdowns, maybe even 1. And as you can see on the WalterPicks app, the Patriots defense is better in every single category than the Seattle Seahawks defense. And you saw what Christian Gonzalez did to Jamar Chase last week. He's going to lock up DK this week, making it impossible for Geno to hook him up. So at the end of the day, I'm taking the Pats +3.5. Let me know if you tail and hit the subscribe button for more.